So moving on to part 4, know your real edge and don't fake it. The more a man is playing his real edge, the more valuable he is as a good company for other men. The more he can be trusted to be authentic and fully present. Where a man's edge is located is less important than whether he is actually living his edge in truth, rather than being lazy or deluded. And that's on page 20. And furthermore, you can't be expected to give a good direction if your own. No, this is me actually answering to that. And it was just a thought, actually. Yeah, I've noted it down as a thought. You can't be expected to give direction if your own ship is not headed towards a destination. And when I thought of that, the quote of "I am the master of my fate, I am the captain of my soul" by William Ernest came to mind. And I believe that there are those of us who fall off and slide back onto the edge perpetually. It's being a constant battle. Now, would you say that you're living at your edge, and if not, why?
That's a great. You know what? I thought about. You know, and there's a number of things. Sorry, very very quickly, just to give a bit of context. So it doesn't matter whether you have notes or don't have notes, obviously, when discussing a book. But usually, I would have notes, and I was talking with obviously the guys, yourself, French, and Mason, that I had food poisoning. Obviously, when I was ill when I was in Ghana, and I forgot a lot of what I'd actually read. And a lot of it is now coming back to me as to my edge and stuff like that. And I probably haven't really discussed this in recent time, but I'm going to say over the past 5 years, in particular over the past 2-3 years, I have to live on the edge. I don't think I can live any other way, which is why, again, going back to some of the things I was saying before as to when I'm talking and I can be aggressive or very strong, I'm on edge, you know, and I feel I can't function at this moment in time. Over the past year or so, maybe longer. Well, definitely longer because this pandemic. I feel I can't get the best of myself if I'm not living on edge.
Nice.
I would, in terms of edge and what's referred to in the book, does it literally mean like living on the edge, like you're kind of every decision counts, that kind of edge?
No, I wouldn't say like every second counts, man. Like I'm living on the edge, dude. It's not that kind of zany Hollywood edge, but more your personal edge of doing what you can, hammering down. Are you giving your gift? Are you living to
I'm not there
highest
yet.
expectation? Are you doing what you're meant to be doing, essentially?
Yeah, I'm not there yet. I'm still trying to battle through, if that makes sense. But I'm definitely not there yet where I'm like every minute, moment, second, hour counts and is dedicated to something that I need to be doing. I'm not there yet.
What? Go on, Pete.
You know what? And just like in addition to what I said as well, like, I'm living on edge. But some of the things that I'm beginning to learn about myself is my emotions are quite heightened as to when I'm actually that probably comes natural with living on the edge. As to your emotions are quite heightened. So I realize my emotions are quite heightened as to living on the edge, and sometimes I have to bring myself down. But it's kind of mad, really, and I'm trying to even work it out as to not why it is. 'Cause I know exactly why it is, because that's a lot of experiences that I've had over the past 5-6 years, etc., etc. And I feel the need. There's an urgency to get things done, etc., etc. In terms of my own purpose, and something else I was going to add to that as well. And boy, I mean, I was going to add the whole masculine thing in just the masculine stuff as well. I've kind of forgot where I was going, but I find my emotions are quite heightened when I'm on edge as well. But I don't think necessarily it's a bad thing. You know what I mean? I feel I get things done, but at the same time, obviously, that's what I say. As you know, I'm a very easy going person, very chilled person. But obviously, I'm gonna say it's like a flick of the switch or what have you. I can flick it on, turn it off, turn it on, etc., etc. But at the same time, I feel I can be not feminine as such, but I mean I can be really extremely open with anyone and talk about experiences and talk about anything. So I don't really have, on the subject of masculinity and femininity, you know, I feel I'm cool. You know what I mean?
What about yourself, Rich? Same question directed at yourself.
I feel I am at times, as I just kind of mentioned. I think there's those of us that fall off it and slide back on it. So, like, you just asked me a question before we started, Mace, and I said no, but I said no to am I progressing with that at the moment? No, because this week I've been concentrating on doing this recording, so I've had to read and take notes and etc. But that's not me making an excuse. I'm still saying that's something that I intend to do. But that's what by me doing that, I would consider that be me living at my edge. But it doesn't mean to say I'm not pursuing what I need to do at the moment in the meantime. So I almost waver between the two. And I could be very critical of myself anyway. Like sometimes if especially beforehand, I would have been like, if I'm chilling, I could be doing something that should be more towards my edge, so to speak. But at the same time, I've also becoming more geared to allowing myself to have a respite and not be so like rigid at times.
To be fair, since the turn of the year, I've started to not gather back what's important to me, but definitely gather back a focus to things that are personal to me, that like, or things that I want to do, if that makes sense, that like are not, sometimes you get bogged down with mundane, I don't even want to be rude in the word mundane, but things that are like, that you're doing, but actually in the grand scheme of things, they actually don't mean anything to you in a personal sense. And I just need to more balance. And what I've started since the turn, I'm starting to get that to edge back towards that balance of half and half, where I'm not just giving myself fully to something that actually it's not for me. I don't know if that makes sense. But I'm
it's about living with purpose. Like if you're doing something, do it with purpose. Like if I'm working, then I want to work for it to be a purposeful work. I want it to be something that I'm getting monetary benefits from it, but at the same time, it's my gift. I enjoy doing it. This is what I like to do. It's not an effort, so to speak. So certain things, going back to what you're saying, P, in regards to working in education and giving advice, like that is a natural gift for some of us. Maybe not everyone, but for some of us, it's not really like working. It's just like, yeah, this is what I do. And you can then obviously make a living from it. And it's a purposeful work. It's a purposeful job, if you understand what I'm saying.
I understand.
What's crazy that you say that is that I was speaking to someone the other day, and this person often, basically, you know, obviously I got my other side hustle or whatever, yeah. So like this person often, like now and again, I'll often come across this person and we'll have a catch up. How you doing? And I actually met this person whilst doing that side hustle, and like basically I was like, oh, how you doing? I haven't like seen you for like, I don't know, like maybe 4 or 5 months. I used to come in and just say hi and whatnot. And he was saying, oh yeah, like blah, blah. They went back home over Christmas and stuff and come back and all the rest of it. And he was saying, oh, like, I was saying, oh, how's things? Because they work for a really renowned organization actually. And I was saying, how's things there? And they were like, do you know what's crazy? Like, even though I'm okay and stuff, and I don't know if she said she was reading something or she was starting to watch something, but she actually mentioned this. She said, I need to start aligning my work with my own personal values. She said, it's almost like I'm looking for something different, but whatever I go into next, it has to align with what I believe in and what I think is important. Like, and like example, like she didn't give this example, but examples such as like, if you believe in protecting the environment and climate change and stuff like that, like obviously you're not going to go and work for a company that's, you know, using a copious amount of plastic or whatever. So it's things like that she was getting at. So it's quite interesting that this comes up in this book, because it's the same thing that she was saying about aligning. If she's going to work, that has to align with her personal values more and more. And the older she gets, I think she's like 40, she said, the older she gets, the more like she's starting to feel that.
Yeah. No, it's going to be on both sides, not just a masculine thing. I think it's just it's a human thing. It's a maturity thing as well. So your perspective of the world changes, and you realize what's more important. And giving your gift to the world, so to speak, is a lot more important than just working for the pound or whatever currency that you're working for. So to clarify, just to end on that last note on page 22, he says to honor your edge, honor your choices, be honest with yourself about them, be honest with your friends about them. A fearful man knows he is fearful, who knows he is fearful is far more trustable than a fearful man who isn't aware of his fear. And a fearful man who still leans into his fear, living at its edge, putting his gift out from there, is more trustworthy and more inspirational than a fearful man who hangs back in the comfort zone, unwilling to even experience his fear on the day-to-day level. And that's on page 22. Before we go into part 5, is there anything else that you wanted to add?
No, not for myself.
So part 5.
For those people out there who haven't actually read the book yet, you'll start to realize why you can maneuver through the chapters so quickly, because some of the chapters are only like 2, 3, 4 pages. So that's part of the reason why you can get through the chapter so quickly in the book.
So part 5, always hold to your deepest realization. Make your life an ongoing process of being who you are at your deepest, most easeful levels of being. Everything other than this process is secondary. So meaning to live each moment in the moment, the power of now, be truthful to self. To be selfish is to be selfless. And that's what I wrote after reading that part. I haven't written any questions for that because, as Mace, you just explained, some of these chapters you can fly through them, so there wasn't really much to add to it. Do you guys want to add anything before I move on?
No.
All right, so part 6, never change your mind just to please a woman. If a woman suggests something that changes a man's perspective, then he should make a new decision based on his new perspective, but he should never portray his own deepest knowledge and intuition in order to please his woman, or go along with her. Both she and he will be weakened by such an action. They will grow to resent each other, and the crust of accumulated inauthenticity will burden their love, as well as the capacity for free action. And that's on page 25. Do you agree or disagree, and why?
Myself, I agree. I mean, I agree. I think one of the things that crossed my mind when you were speaking was, don't ever do what you don't want to do. I mean, I've spent too much time in my life doing what other people want to do rather than what I want to do, and that's something I really, I regret. You know what I mean? I regret that, definitely, and it's probably naturally, it's obviously benefit other people rather than myself. And I think if you're in a relationship and you're not doing collectively what you both want to do, then naturally that's going to weaken you. And like, even if you're speaking as individuals, if she wants to do something and you don't, but you decide to do it, I mean, I don't know, you're probably not going to be in the best place to do what she wants to do. You know what I mean? You're not going to do said thing with the same enthusiasm as if you wanted to do it. And the same would be vice versa.
What about you, Mace?
You know what? When I was younger, and P, the comments were very good actually. I agree with a lot of things you're saying. I think what you said comes with maturity actually. Maturity, wiseness, but also you start to realize, and I think all 3 of us can speak on this. 20 years ago, 15 years ago, I felt like I had so much more time than you have now. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that comes with responsibility or chasing goals, dreams, whatever. But when I was younger, when almost like I was kind of just out there doing foolishness, chasing down girls, I'll very, very acceptable, like accommodating, acceptable, like even things that might not even rested well on my not moral compass, resting well with me doing. If I was trying to please a female, I would do them. Do you know what I'm saying? But now, I think honestly, and we had a conversation off air the other day. It was quite interesting. But honestly, I think the best thing you can go into now, if you're going into something with a woman, relationship-wise, or just be from the off, the best thing you can do is be honest. Because you know what? Once you've got that that point of honesty from the very off, whether they like it or not. If it comes to 8 months down the line, you can always refer back to the point and said, look, I always told you this at this point. I always told you this. And just because we've got more serious doesn't mean my mindset's changed. I've told you this from day dot. So you can always refer back to. So I do believe that just be open and honest from the start. And in all essence, if you're open and honest from the start and you're not Mr. Agreeable or Mrs. Agreeable, then you're going to have less problems later on down the line, because once that kind of that lack of authenticity wears off, you can't keep up a pretense forever. So once that lack of authenticity wears off, you're just creating problems for yourself. All of a sudden, you might have bought a house together, you might have had a child together, and now 12 to 18 months down the line, you're like, you know what, I ain't putting up this, I can't keep up this pretense. Man's an alcoholic, or man goes out with my boys and does whatever. You can't keep it up forever. You're just gonna mash it yourself internally, and you're gonna and the same, you're gonna mash up a relationship if you're a man, that is. Same with a woman. So I honestly think, just be open and honest from the start. If there is places where you can meet in the middle, you can just have some common ground, or where like or you have your own preferences, or she has her own preferences, and you can respect each other's preferences and just be like, you know what, that's what he likes to do, what she likes to do. I don't like doing that, but I'll let him do that because I know that's his spirit or mood, or that's her wind down, so that it takes the pressure off from the week, wherever it is. Then you have that in place. Simple as that. I honestly, there's some things in this book that I really do agree with.
I guess that's one of them.
That was one of them, yeah. Honestly, I'm telling you,
cool.
You can leave it. Someone reading this book, yeah, like, I think some of it you're not gonna get or not gonna agree with. Some of it you will. I think if you've got a personal experience that ties in with what's being said in a particular chapter, that's when it resonates. If you haven't, sometimes it's hard to fathom. That's what I would say.
Anything else you want to add there, Mace or P?
No, nothing myself now.
Cool. I agree, by the way. But there's no point in me going, because I agree with what you're both saying. So yeah, I agree. So part 7, your purpose must come before your relationship. Every man knows that his highest purpose in life cannot be reduced to any particular relationship. If a man prioritizes his relationship over his highest purpose, he weakens himself. This serves the universe and cheats his woman of an authentic man who can offer her full, undivided presence. That's on page 27. If you had to choose the perfect intimate relationship or achieving your highest purpose in life, what would you choose and why?
That is tough, man.
That's why I asked it, bro.
Sorry, can you repeat that again?
If you had to choose the perfect intimate relationship or achieving your highest purpose in life, what would you choose and why?
I don't know, is this book or maybe because I knew we were gonna have this conversation today. I thought we were gonna based on our we're having like friendly debate. Obviously going back and forth on the topical thing we're talking about.
We can go into that at some point as well.
Yeah, okay. So I was thinking to myself, not that I was preparing for debate, but I was, thoughts just come in your mind. And I was thinking,
to be fair, this kind of, not to keep on cutting you, but this is it, more or less. So we can chop it up now.
Okay. I'm gonna move. No, anyway, I think whether men or people like to admit it, love has to be rank 1, 2 in what people want in life.
Anyway, don't pay Mace no attention.
Yeah, I'm paying him
no attention, bro. I'll blank out my screen.
Yeah, no, they don't need to do that. I think whether people want to admit it or not, like being in love or feeling love, alongside your passions or what have you. I'm not saying one is higher than the other, because I think for other people it will be different depending on what they want. But it's theirs, right? Rank 1, 2, and 3, if not one between 1 and 2. I just think I'm going to say men more than women. I'm not going to agree with that, in my humble opinion.
So just to clarify, you're saying that men will choose love?
No, I'm saying like, no, okay.
You will choose love.
No, actually, I wouldn't. by the way. No, it'd be very difficult.
All right. So referring back to the original question, because I don't want us to stray too far away from it.
Okay.
You would choose a perfect intimate relationship over achieving your highest purpose in life.
No chance. But no, what I'm saying is, no.
So what are you saying?
What I'm saying, I probably danced around. Okay, what I'm saying is, I would choose my purpose, and I'll remove the no chance, but I'll remove. No, sorry. I would choose my purpose because ultimately that's what I feel I'm here for on this earth, to achieve my purpose, and I like to believe, obviously, on that path I will find love. Let's say, but I'm saying, the question was, would I choose love or my purpose? And I'm saying, I believe, like, within people's wants and needs, I think love is in the top 3. But we're talking about 2 things here. But men themselves would not like to admit that love is high on their agenda.
I don't agree with that.
Okay.
You can answer, Mace. I mean, then I'll answer. Then we can debate it if still necessary.
Yeah, I think I am gonna dance around, but I will get to my point, yeah, because there's so many scenarios that spring up with this, yeah. If you can find, you have a purpose, you have a set purpose. Before you met a woman who's swept you off your feet, like you never thought you'd feel any way about, you might have a set purpose or a goal, and nothing or no one at that particular time when you've got that purpose or goal in mind is gonna stop you. You come across someone, I honestly think the best type of person you can come across is the person that understands you have this particular purpose. I don't know if it says this in the book, if we discussed this actually, but it says it in the book, so I won't go into it. But if you can find someone who understands your sense of your purpose and can either A, work with you on that purpose, or B, realize, you know what, you've got a purpose and a goal to achieve. And I know roughly what you're aiming at in terms of the timescale. And guess what? Once you've achieved that, I know that I'm going to have the whole of you. And I know how much of a great person you can be for me once I get the whole of you. Am I willing to wait those 3 years it might take for you to wait and assist for you in those 3 years where I know I'm not going to get the best of you, but guess what? Getting half of you is even something special. And then I know that after that, I've got a lifelong of specialness. Or am I just going to be an absolute tyrant in you trying to achieve your purpose when I knew all along, you've told me you want to do this, yet now that we're 12 months or 18 months down the line, I'm kind of bugging out feeling, nah, you need more time with me. Like, forget that you've met me now. Personally, I just think, like, if you've already had that purpose in mind before you met the lady or met someone, you have to, for honest, as I said in the last chapter, honesty, you've just got to be honest. If you've been honest at the beginning, then for me, you haven't been out of order or disrespectful. If you said, look, this is my goal, this is what I'm working towards, this is my journey, this is the reason why I haven't been tied down in a relationship, because no one's been able to deal with it. You can deal with it. I'm more than happy for you to jump in the passenger seat on my journey all the way straight up the M1. I'm not coming off at Birmingham or wherever. I'm coming off in like Northampton. So are you ready to come on the ride? Because any diversions, you can get out and, you know, you can order an Uber. But when you have to, I'm going on this journey. So for me, if you've already had that purpose, if you've got a purpose and it's really, you know, that's the thing in your head, then I think most people are going to say, sorry, that's me generalizing, but I think you have to follow that purpose because it's going to be detrimental to any relationship that comes in, whether that's the person of your dreams that comes in. The only way for me it'll work is if that person who comes in, you've explained that purpose to them and they are willing to, maybe they have a similar purpose or goal, that would be perfect. But if they can understand or they're willing to assist you, if they're going to give up what they have or what they're working towards, because actually your purpose or goal is so important to you and they'll assist you on that journey until you achieve that, in my opinion.
So what would you choose?
What would I choose?
And why?
It depends. Okay, it depends. If
Well, sorry, you don't mind me interjecting because you're thinking. I mean, you've kind of said you're unsure what your gift is, so I don't know.
Yeah, so that's why I'm trying to think like outside of my domain, if that makes sense.
Okay.
All right, but while you're thinking, I personally, I would choose my highest purpose in life, and the reason why is because, as I guess alluding to what you were saying, Mace, is before you was in any kind of relationship, you've been born with a gift to share with the world. So you'll be doing a disservice, as the author says, if you don't give your gift to the world. And that's not to say that I don't want, or I don't perceive as having love and having an intimate relationship as high priority, because I do. But my highest priority is my life's work, so to speak, or my life's purpose. So if I had to choose, hands down, I'm going to choose my highest purpose in life every time.
I think, do you know what else came to mind when you were answering, P? It's, say for instance, you're with a partner, and this is, I know this is really, I know this is really like thinking extremely now, but you're with, you've got your main purpose, your partner knows your main purpose, they know that that's your main purpose, they're secondary, but they're okay with that fact. They then become terminally ill for 4 years, and you then have to care for them, then, and you can't concentrate on your main purpose. That's what came to my mind, a scenario like that.
Okay, that's not a bad analogy.
Now what happens?
Example, sorry.
Now what happens?
All right, let me give the listeners, the viewers, an insight into Andrew. All right, there is nothing on God's green earth that is going to stop me from living my purpose, getting to the top of that mountain. I genuinely believe that. Yeah. All right, I'm not going to share that, but there's nothing. I believe there's no one better than me. All right, obviously that's a journey, but that's how I feel. All right, and I'll give you another thing. All right, I don't know, no one's going to laugh as such, but I also believe this is for a man who's not in a relationship and actually never been in like a long-term relationship. I actually believe in my heart, and maybe through things I've learned about myself, falling in love or being with someone is going to make me probably 10 times as stronger than I feel now, which is ridiculous anyway. You know what I mean? Like, I'll be on Superman level. So the debate we're having the other day as to, I think it was, I don't know to do hypotheticals, but like, yeah.
A real life scenario. We don't have to.
It's a real life, but you don't have to put no names.
Okay,
exactly. It's a real life scenario.
You can just say boy blue and girl pink.
Real life
scenario. Just say Josh and Tina or something. You get me?
Cool. All right. Josh is in a relationship. Josh has got his purpose. Has been very clear with his purpose from the onset. With himself, but also with his partner as well. Tina, who's been in a relationship with Josh for let's say 18 months, is now beginning to question, let's say, where is this relationship going? Josh has said, well, you've known from the onset, I'm going in this direction, you know what I mean? And you just happen to be on my bus or in my car. We're going in this direction. In hearing this, you know, it kind of tickled me for a moment, but actually when I was laughing, I said, wait a minute, Tina's got a point here. When do you start actually working on this relationship? Forget the fact that you want to be in this relationship or not, but you're in this scenario. When do you begin working in this relationship? Because actually, as I know, your purpose never stops. I'm going to be doing I'm going to be doing what I do to the day I die. I already know. You know, I know almost every single step. I know how this is going to play out. So, but if I, because we were talking about percentages. So again, obviously, my question last week was kind of, what's the balance? What's the percentage as to your purpose and your relationship? And again, I don't know if I put this in a post. What are people calling like investment or commitment towards a relationship? I'm not talking about taking your girl out to a restaurant or what have you. I'm talking about actually really planning your relationship as to even what she wants, because ultimately, because I think there's gonna be a lot of satisfaction in terms of helping her achieve what she wants to achieve, and likewise, I'm gonna need all the help I can get. You know, all the help I can get. I know that. These are things that I've learned over in recent time. So yeah, that was it really. I mean,
sorry,
go on.
Sorry, and I raised the point. Yeah, back to the Josh and Tina scenario. I raised the point. In terms of a commitment to a lady, yeah, there's probably more, but the 3 or 4 I come up with was marriage, kids, joint account, property together.
Yeah.
There's probably more, but those sprang to mind straight away. Like those are big commitments. Yeah. If you within that, what's the first kind of step? If you're just a traditional kind of man and woman, out of those 3 or 4 I've mentioned.
Sorry, I was thinking about something you said before. So I'm gonna ask you
Yeah.
whether I'm gonna save my she's terminally ill. No, we're saving her, B. That's what we're doing.
So that'll be your priority.
I'm saving her. Yeah.
So she's terminally ill, but it could take 4 to 6 years. So that means your main purpose is on hold.
How old am I?
Fair enough.
But either way, I mean, I can multitask. I mean, not multitask. I mean, I'm not. Yeah, I don't know. I can't do. I'm not doing just one thing. I will give her my undivided attention.
If one has to suffer, it's going to be your purpose. That's what you're saying.
I think I would. Yeah, I really do. I think so. I mean, obviously, I'd make decisions. There's absolutely no way I think I would give my attention to her. That's what I think I would do.
All right.
I'm not sure, actually.
Back to Josh and Tina. So what I was saying, because you obviously gave a good point, and actually she's got a point. Hold on, but what we've missed out is Josh within the next 3 months or so is actually getting himself in a position where she can move in with him at no cost to her.
Cool.
There's 3 or 4 big commitments. Well, there's probably more, but let's just say those are 4 I've mentioned, and there's almost an order. Yeah, almost. You'd say in most cases there's an order. Yeah, not all cases. I know that, but in most cases, an order. Is that not the first?
It is. I'd say like this is again. That was another good point you raised. Well, now and also then as well. I think it is a big commitment as to a relationship. Someone moving in with you. But I don't even know. Like I don't know. I'm moving with housemates. Does that make so? That's a bad example. But like that's a bad example, right? But yeah, I don't know. Like I think sometimes moving in with someone is almost like war of a duck's back. As in there's convenience. I'll tell you, there's convenience attached. Some men have no choice. There's a lot of that.
Bro, it's not easy, bro. It's not water of a duck's back, though. It's not. Just to have someone else in your space within cohabiting with each other, and it's more than just friends. Like if you've been at uni and you've moved in with a few housemates, it's different. It's a whole different vibe. You know what I mean? But like living with someone that you're intimate with, that's a whole different kettle of fish, bro.
You know what? Because you've moved in with someone, or vice versa, it doesn't mean you're committed to the relationship, towards the development of the relationship.
Jesus. Okay.
You know what? I don't want to go too deep. You know what?
I agree with that. I agree with that last part. I'm not gonna lie. In some instances, yeah, that's true. I've been in the situation still.
Obviously, I can't. You got that. You know what? Sorry. Let me just cut you. I'm glad you said that. You know what it is? Men are full of shit, man. That's what I believe. Just absolutely full of shit. Excuse my French. Do you know the reason why I say that? Though I say that because for experience. But even like last night, I don't want to go in too depth because it's quite sensitive as such. I was on IG, scroll past something, and there was a video. I watched the video. A guy was having a conversation with a girl. He said something I thought was wild, and I thought I was just gonna scroll past. And I said, "No, I'm not scrolling past." I said, "That was mad." I said, "I'm not even gonna." I said, "I'm not even gonna lie. That was wild." And I exclamation, went about my business. Anyway, people come in. What was mad? Blah blah. And I thought, "Are you stupid or something?" And I thought, I'm gonna give this time. So I wrote a response, and I'm not surprised. Well, girls were like liking my comment, DMing me saying like, "Thank you." I mean, it wasn't rocket science. I didn't understand. And then this morning I woke up and I saw another one. I thought, I want to give you time, but I didn't want to. Again, I don't like being specific and giving crazy examples. Hence the Josh and the Tina, because I was going to give examples of real life people. But again, I didn't want to drag people into a big debate on Instagram. And I was like, blah 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 blah. I was like, what are you men not seeing about this or don't understand? Anyway, I can't go too deep into it because it's a bit crazy.
And trying to be the face of the feminist voice right now.
No, it's not. Sorry, no. My point is
like the knight and that. You're playing the knight role. All right.
My point is, I just think sometimes us men just act like I don't know. I just me moving mad sometimes. I just don't see. I don't know. Some of the pictures that their women are not pictures. I think you get my point anyway.
Yeah,
Understand?
but women move mad as well. Anyway, we can go into this, but we can go into this all night because women move mad as well, P, bro.
No, they do. Sorry, I think no, I'm not denying that. I think my point, or some of my learning and in my understanding, even from some of our previous books, is I've sat there and I've gone, oh, he said it here. I mean, in the book, as to men have like, not that women don't have a purpose, but men have like let's say a purpose. I think he's broke it down differently. Men have a purpose, and women want to feel loved, blah blah blah. And I've just learned to understand that a little bit more, and I just think to myself, if we're so headstrong as to our purpose, whether it's making money, this, that, and the third, that we completely forget, and almost your relationship becomes secondary, and you don't know. I think we don't know how to build relationships. That's another thing. Don't know how to build relationships. You're with someone, and all of a sudden, we've had this conversation. I think maybe on a previous season. Oh, what'd you do after when you've been with a girl for 2 years? You get engaged, don't you? It's just what you do, isn't it? Not me. Not me. After 3 years, you're supposed to have a baby, isn't it? You're supposed to. You're supposed to get married, aren't you? No. I think there's, I don't know. And while I was explaining it in this little debate or argument, I said, some of us, when we were younger, I said, if you look back in hindsight, we were moving mad when we were young, when we were chasing girls and all that type of stuff. And I was like, some of us, like, our moves were so juvenile.
I've seen it all.
Yeah, so our moves were mad juvenile. And I was like, some of those characteristics remain today in certain people's DNA and the way they behave. I mean, I was like, in fact, what I said was, I'm big 30, I said 30 plus. I'm big 35. And I'll tell you right now, like, for not women listening, because it doesn't really matter, men will laugh too. Guys still go, yo, how many girls you talk, like sometimes how many girls you talking to, or like,
not in my circle,
not in our circles, bro.
Nah, not like that, not like that. But well, cool. We sometimes talk about dating. As to
but man don't say like how many girls you
no. So what I mean, okay, remove the type of the way the question was asked. What I'm saying is those conversations still happen, and sometimes those conversations happen when someone has a girlfriend. Like, I don't know if you're agreeing or disagreeing, but what I'm saying is
no. I can't like. Yeah, there's no one in and around me at all, including you two, that like I know behaves like that.
Cool. We can.
No,
I want to say something, but
it sounds like P trying to throw someone under the bus.
I don't know who you're trying to throw, but don't do it on here.
No, of course not.
There is someone within the vicinity that I know of that is doing that, because I'm not aware of that.
No. Anyway, forget that. But anyway,
what's the point you're trying to make, bruv?
I'm just saying that we still move like juvenile, like some like men.
Are you talking about obviously not us, but are you talking about men in general?
Yeah, men in general. I think some of the characteristics we grew up on in terms of, I'm using an example of like chasing girls and stuff like that, are still with us today. But that would be the same for many other things. And women, the way they develop in terms of their maturity, then obviously they, I don't know, have not have a drive, but they want to settle down. They want to be in a relationship. But because of some of the things we used to do when we were younger, we haven't. I don't know. We don't see those things the same as to wanting to build a relationship the way they do in some cases.
I swear down, yeah, I've seen it from both perspectives, honestly. And like, if you would come to me, if you'd speak to me about this like 10, I don't know, between 8 and 12 years ago, I would probably be in 80 to 90% agreement with you, yeah. But honestly, in the last like 4 or 5 years, last few years, I've seen, can't even speak on things that I've seen and heard, but I've just been gobsmacked at how.
From both sides. Both sides.
I've been, no, that's the point I'm making. I've been, I'm sure if I haven't shared the story with you, I can share it off air, but I'm sure I have, but you may be forgotten.
I remember.
Yeah, I've been.
Yeah, I know. I'm not.
Smacked. Like,
I remember.
I know what you're talking about now.
That's wild.
I'm not saying.
I know even me to. Yeah, go on.
I'm not saying women are always innocent.
No, but that's how that's how you're making it sound. Is like they're fully innocent in this thing, or
no.
not moving mad.
No. What I'm saying is, is I think ultimately I think we have different perspectives, like on building a relationship. Men,
Of course, but this is what part of the book he mentions it numerous amount of times, right? In terms of how we view relationships. Anyway, this is how we're built.
and I'm saying men more often, generalizing, but I'm saying more often than not, neglect that. I think men sometimes when we get in relationships, it's almost like job done, sealed, and then people go back on that bus, that train, and work on their purpose. Whereas, there are stages, and then instead of finding yourself, oh, I got Tina pregnant, and we often, I mean, not we, but people often find themselves in a situation. Oh, we're having a kid. I might as well stay with her, Oh man. I mean, you laugh because we know what we're talking like. We've seen it before.
Mm.
No planning, no. Anyway,
but do you know what though? I don't want to. We've kind of taken a few side streets and ended up on a whole different road. Let me just throw it back to you, Mace, and just to clarify before we move on.
Yeah.
Did you answer on what you would choose and why in regards to an intimate relationship or a highest purpose in life?
I think the best answer I can give is and this is what I was, because right now, obviously, I'm in a relationship and I'm in a relationship that that's not my main focus, but obviously, if something was to come up now within the next year where I was like, you know what, the next 10 years I'm going to dedicate to this, whether it's a business idea, whatever it is, I know that first and foremost, my priority is my relationship, because obviously that comes first. If you're in a position, and I'm generalizing here, but if someone's in a position where they've already discovered or know their purpose, and then someone comes along, the best thing they can do is be honest with that person. And then for me, that person that they're with has to recognize, and for me, that person has to recognize, and also, in answer to your question, the purpose should be the main focus. And because what will happen is, in my opinion, if that person never gets to achieve their purpose, as you put, P, say like 12 months down the line, the person that becomes pregnant, whether it might be slightly planned, slightly accidental, as in when I say semi-planned, like maybe we didn't plan this now, maybe in 4 years, but it's happened. And obviously we're in a long-term committed relationship. We're going to stay with, we're going to have it. Eventually if that person never got a chance to achieve their purpose, not necessarily you're going to achieve it, never got a chance to achieve their purpose, there will be grudges held, bro. There will be, when the argument thrives up, oh, but you knew how important this was to me, and then look now, there's gonna be occasions where you're gonna, even if it's 18 years old or 21 years old, a child moves out, goes to university, whatever, and then you're like, shit, like I've done, like my attention got thrown elsewhere, raised the child, which obviously took my main priority and purpose, and I didn't have a chance to think about what I was meant to be doing 18 years ago, and all of a sudden, shit, I never achieved what I wanted to. The amount of people that I've seen where their parents, as soon as they turn 18, 21, the parents are divorced and gone, bruv, because they got not sidetracked, but it was like, right, the little one, everything else obviously is on the back burner, or you're just looking after the little one so much, working to make sure you can provide for the family, and actually that main purpose they never got to achieve, and there's a sense of resentment. So that's the best way I can structure my answer, in terms of you've already had that purpose or goal and you're working towards that, and someone jumps in your whippy and they jump in the car and you're like, I'm going in that direction only. You can either assist me, maybe you have the same, maybe you've waved me down because you're going the same route as me. So that's why you've jumped in and we're working towards a similar thing. So that works perfectly. But apart from that, don't tell me to come off here and take a detour, because it's not going to work. That's where I sit with it.
You know what? Just like I think you again raised some good points. As to, it doesn't have to be getting someone pregnant. I'm also looking like at the guy, because if the guy is holding resentment, I'm looking at there's a lack of focus there, bro. How have you got someone pregnant?
Nah, you can't. Anyway,
I don't care. I don't care.
That was just a small example that sprung in my head, but you can't, bruv. If you're,
I want to take that. I want to take that back.
Because we'll end up 10 minutes on this subject now. Because I'm gonna have to respond, and then you'll respond, and then let's just
lack of focus. But go on.
Oh.
Nah, bruv, you can't say that. Let's move on before we go on a whole different agenda. All right, so part 8: lean just beyond your edge. Struggle to get that up. All right, so on page 29, once you're honest with yourself about your real edge, it is best to lean just beyond it. Very few men have the guts for this practice. Most men either settle for the easy path or self-aggrandize themselves by taking the extreme hard path. And that's on page 29. What does fair look like to you?
I don't know, but I mean, as you're reading that, the first thing that came to mind was like, even like, I mean, I was thinking about going for a walk today, and I probably will go for a walk. I know it's late, but I'm going for a walk today because I'll need to take the edge off how I currently feel. Not necessarily as to this conversation, but just in general. Yeah, just in general, I need to take the edge off. I need to go out, I need to calm down, and then come back, and then go to bed, nice and easy. You know what I mean? But what does fear look like to me? I'm not even too sure. What would scare the hell out of me is not knowing what I wanted from life. That will petrify me. I don't know what. I don't. I honestly don't know what. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know how. I don't know what it looks. I don't know what that looks like. Fear to me at this moment in time is the inability or lack of confidence to believe I can achieve what I can achieve. That scares the shit out of me. That would petrify me. I've kind of been there before, and I had to sit and really plan things out, but that was just more mental rather than anything. There's probably more, but they're the two things that come to mind.
At the moment in my life, what fair looks like to me is being in the same position I'm in 15, 20 years, exactly the same. And when I say same position, I mean, what do you call it? What's the hamster wheel? What do they call it? The thing.
Yeah, I know it's hamster wheel. Yeah.
Is that, yeah, basically, yeah, is whatever they call that. So just being stagnant, basically, that is my biggest fear. But yeah, that's essentially my biggest fear, just being stagnant, being in the same place, position.
It's funny you should say that. I was just, I think when I first wrote the question, I pondered it, and I kind of let it flee out of mind. And as you was talking, my response was similar to yours, and I guess it's I fear the acceptance of of how my life is now. Like I fear that, like I just accept it for what it is, for where it is now. Like I fear that becomes normalized, and I don't keep pushing. I fear that.
Yeah. That's a perfect way to put it. Exactly that.